Welcome to my Palmer Point of View, which is my virtual tour of a few of my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection that are on display that remind me of my time at Penn State or other moments in my life. The first piece is Boonton Falls, New Jersey by Asher B. Durand, which was made in 1833. This piece is one of the first things you see when you enter the Snows Gallery. I chose to study art history after taking an American art course my freshman year, and one of the artists we covered in that class was Asher B. Durand. I see this work as a symbol of my freshman year and where my love for art history began. Welcome to the next space in our tour. In this area, I will have two paintings that I'm going to be talking about. The first is Forest Scene by William Truss Richards, created in 1868. This piece reminds me of the state park near my house. I grew up in the mountains of the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and I spent a lot of time in the outdoors, and this work transports me back home. The next piece is Young Woman by Abbott Henderson Thayer, created in 1898. A few years ago at the Palmer's very first Art After Hours Halloween Spectacular, I dressed up as this young woman for my costume. I took a picture by it, but unfortunately I couldn't find that photo to share with everyone. This next work is titled Sunlight and Shadows by Theodore Robinson, which was created in 1896. This piece, I feel, is an iconic member of the Palmer's permanent collection. It has been on display since I was a freshman, which was 4 years ago, and it is a crowd favorite for the Impressionist fans, myself included. We have one work left before we head upstairs for the rest of the tour. This piece is titled Peacock Blue and Yellow Sea Forms Set with Yellow Lip Wraps by Dale Chihuly, which was made in 1995. It is such a beautiful example of a blown glass piece. On a bright sunny day, the sunlight comes through the window and illuminates the piece in a way that makes it seem like it's underwater. This is one of my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection. We have made it to the second floor of the Palmer, and I have 3 pieces left in the tour. The first is Sarah Bernhardt from Rebus by Vic Muniz, that was made in 2010. This is another fun piece. The portrait print is made up of thousands of toys and trinkets that will pull the viewer in and cause you to stare at it for hours. This work symbolizes the playful side of art that I really admire. The next piece is titled Compelled by Jules Olitsky, which was made in 1966. This is another work that has been on display since my first year of school. I love how this large work envelops you in its haze of color. I listen to a lot of music from the 60s, and I feel this work is a great representation of that period. Last but not least, we have Boat Blue Damberg by Bertil Valian. This is a glass sculpture from Sweden. When I was 15, my family traveled to Sweden, and while we were there, we toured the glass factories my ancestors possibly worked at. This little boat reminds me of that trip and my family and all the amazing experiences and memories we created on that trip. And that is my Palmer Point of View. Thank you so much for following along. If you enjoyed this, be sure to check out the Palmer Museum of Art in person so that you can experience their entire collection as well and maybe find a few of your own favorites.